the finalists in the balance beam competition, and we'll begin with the top performer in the preliminary round, Anna Lashchevska of Ukraine. Already at 16, a very experienced World Cup medalist and indeed champion on the beam. 13.85 was her score, over half a mark stronger than the second best. That's Diana Lobok, her own teammate. We'll have a very good sense of the lay of the land after this first performance, because we begin with the favourite, Anna Lashchevska, the champion in Osijek at the World Challenge Cup, also in Doha at the World Cup. 2 titles last season on beam as well. Switch leap mount to start. Nice connection work. It's a forceful display. She's attacking the skills to get good height, to bring the legs towards horizontal and ensure minimal execution deductions. Unfortunately, she's offline coming out of the front tuck. Free walkover. Was a good response to coming off the apparatus. Very nearly what we saw in qualification from 16-year-old Anna Lashchevska. She was 4th in the uneven bars competition yesterday. The next World Cup medal for her will be number 10. Remarkable to think she's already won 6 titles. But you can see there, I'm sure, when she takes off for the front tuck somersault, the line is not quite right from the very beginning. She's off angle. It was always going to be difficult to get the secure connection on the apparatus. Twists nicely to conclude. Very promising young gymnast, though, there's no question of that. .05 indicative, with her being 8/10 down from qualification, that she was actually on course to surpass her qualification score. That could have been verging on a 14 performance. This is Hilda Maja Guðmundsdóttir of Iceland. She turns 19 in 4 days. She's from Sveitarfélagið, the municipality of Árborg in the south of the country. And you're watching here the reigning Nordic champion on the beam. She's also the all-around and vault champion from the competition last month in Oslo. 8th best in qualification, 12.65. She Also has some issues with finding the line. Really nice gymnast, Gudmundsdóttir. She's got so much better over the last couple of years. Really secure back tuck. I said it yesterday, and I will keep banging the drum, that the Icelandic women's squad have just improved immeasurably in the last few years. And what one tends to see from them, and she's a great example of it, is very mechanically sound gymnasts. Another case of nearly, this time from Hilda Maja Gudmundsdóttir of Iceland. She's just competed at her 4th European Championship, said it was the most she's ever enjoyed the European Championships, despite it being the hardest one. And this, her first time in a World Cup final. No reason to think we won't see her in plenty more of them. Quite marginal, she wasn't far away. Otherwise, wasn't it well performed? .75, down by 9/10 from qualification. Now to the 6th best performer in the preliminary round, Caitlin Rooskrantz of South Africa. A gymnast who will be competing at the Olympic Games in Paris, having qualified at the last World Championships. Nice composed mount, 12.9 in qualifying. Now, can she keep the stability in the wolf turns? Yes, she can. Little oscillation, but not much. Side somersault, well landed. Just a little lacking amplitude in terms of the leg position. Took her time going into the dismount, but got it right. Caitlin Rooskrantz of South Africa. If you want a gymnast who's had an impact, if you want someone who has enormously raised the profile of the sport in her nation, look to her, Caitlin Rooskrantz. And she's spoken of how important that is to her to bring about cultural change in the sport. She has said she wants to and has wanted to her whole career help young people see people of colour in the team, and what she herself has referred to as the Rainbow Nation team. They were such a fantastic outfit at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The South African squad finishing 4th in the team event. Everyone was excited by their floor performances, particularly. Best display they'd ever had as a Commonwealth Games team. Caitlin Rooskrantz was the first South African gymnast to win a gold medal in an FIG competition. Her score is 12.2. She sacrificed quite a bit of difficulty from qualifying, 5/10, and that results in overall a 7/10 drop. Ariana Grillo of Italy, 16 from Milan. A full senior international debut. Great opportunity for some of the next wave of gymnasts from Italy to get a chance in World Cup final action, with the first team squad being rested. Oh, nearly. I thought she was going to hold that for a moment. She was close. The qualification score was 12.8. Lots of positives in that performance from the teenager Ariana Grillo from Italy. The European Youth Olympic Festival gold medalist in the mixed pairs event with Ricardo Villa. And she has been on a junior European Championship podium as well. Let's have a look back at this performance. Starts with good clarity on the switch leap mount.
It
was marginal, wasn't it? It really was close to being held. Not a great deal separating her from getting through that skill. She's had some good results in the Serie A competitions this year, the Italian league. All part of the learning process. 11.3. So it means that Anna Leszczewska leads at the halfway stage despite having come off the apparatus. Well, what a day it was yesterday for her. Lucia Riba, the gold medalist on the uneven bars, her first international title as a senior at the age of 22, in front of her home fans with the family and friends watching on. Brilliant. She'll never forget it. Well, we are just looking at the warm-ups, coming to their conclusion for the second half of the final. That was Veronika Mandriota, and we'll finish with Leni Bola of Austria. Before them we'll have Tina Zelčić. She's a contender to win this, as is Diana Lobok.
mesto za Ariano Grillo. Naslednja v finalih nagradi pa bo nastopila hrvaška gimnastičarka Tina Zelčić, četvrta v kvalifikacijah z oceno.
Now this will be really interesting, because when this gymnast is absolutely on song, as she was at the Osijek World Challenge Cup earlier in her career, then she is a gymnast who can get onto the podium. She has been on World Cup podia on a couple of occasions. Difficulty-wise, she will not have the sort of complexity that the top scorers will have, but her execution is very often the strongest in a final. Tina Zelčić of Croatia. Fourth best in qualification, 13.05. Earlier in her career, last season, she won her first international medal in Bulgaria, followed it up in Croatia, and did the same in Croatia this season. So she has 3 World Cup honours. Small adjustments, but otherwise quite crisp and clear. Acrobatic sequence was well performed. She's actually the second oldest in this young beam final. She's only 21. Caitlin Rooskrantz just a little older. And we are seeing composure here from Zelčić. That was very good. Tina Zelčić of Croatia. It's certainly going to be one of the best scores we've seen. 13.05 is the number to beat. That's what she got in qualification. But there could be anything around a full mark difference in difficulty between her and the highest difficulty scorers. It's just, as ever with her, the execution is often so poised. Makes her a real pleasure to watch. She's good at arresting an adjustment like we saw there. Clamps down on a wobble. There too, almost makes it look as though it's a stylistic decision, the way that she saves adjustments almost with a choreographic flourish with the arms.
12.750 za Tino Zelčić, izhodišna ocena sestave 4.80 i drugo mesto v tem trenutku.
13.05 in qualification, 12.75 on this occasion, so she is into second place. Execution not quite as high, same difficulty score, but she loses 3/10. Youngest in the competition, 15-year-old Diana Lobok of Ukraine. 13.3 was her qualification score. If she produces 13.3 in this stage of the competition, she goes into the lead. And she's on course thus far. Front aerial with slight delayed adjustment. Performs the wolf turns well. Perhaps very slightly lacking in amplitude, but not a great deal. And unfortunately, just coming out of the tuck position, she couldn't keep that dismount upright. Good young gymnast. That was a promising display from an athlete who made her senior European Championship debut a couple of months ago in Rimini in Italy. The interior of the routine, very good. Impressive stability on the wolf turns. The x-axis was really quite sharp. Just look back at the dismount and a jarred landing coming out of the tuck position. So a full mark, unfortunately, right at the close of the routine. Very nearly though, very nearly. .25, so she is into the bronze medal position with 2 to go. And fascinatingly, Lashchevska still leads with Zelčić second, Lobok third. Now to Veronika Mandriota of Italy, 17 from Bari in the southeast of the country. She was the reserve gymnast for the last World Championships. 13.1 in qualification. That would be sufficient to lead. The job almost completed. The dismount really secure. Good performance from Veronika Mandriota of Italy. We haven't seen her a great deal this season. She competed at the City of Jesolo Trophy in April. She's been in the Serie A League system too. This was well performed. This is going to be a contending display. No doubting that. Very stylish turns. Small adjustments here and there, nothing that was really substantial. She's one of the gymnasts I was talking about, the opportunity in these big squads that can exist at these World Cups to challenge for a place, to move higher up the minds of the selectors. And she's gone into the gold medal position, 13.05, winning the execution tiebreak over Anna Lashchevska. Well done, Veronika Mandriota. She's guaranteed at least a silver medal. So it is Mandriota, Lashchevska and Zelčić, 1, 2 and 3. 12.75 required to get onto the podium. And Leni Bola of Austria scored 0.2 higher than that in the preliminary round. She did that as well with a 10th deduction for finishing the routine late. She's the national champion on the balance beam. Good stability. That was calmly done. She was off axis, but smoothly got back to a vertical base. Handled the 180-degree change of direction nicely. Front aerial looking good. Side aerial likewise. On course and twisting well. Interesting weight coming up here for this score for Leni Bola. 12.75 plus required for a place on the podium. Is she going to manage to secure her first World Cup honours? Some really promising young athletes coming through on the Austrian team. They've been attracting a lot of attention in discussions about the next 4 years. Slight lack of leg form in the twist at the end. Oh, it was close. 12.7. Leni Bola just misses a place on the podium by 0.05. Really good effort. The classified results in the balance beam competition: Tina Zelčić of Croatia winning the bronze medal, Anna Lashchevska of Ukraine taking silver. And on an execution tie-break, Veronica Mandriota of Italy wins her first ever World Cup title. Ceremony in the beam competition in Koper at the Arena Bonifica.
Award ceremony beam. Medalji priznanja bodo podelili Sašo Bertoncer, član izvršnega odbora mediteranskih iger, Joana Grad, delegatka Svetovne gimnastične federacije, Tomaš Leskovar, direktor našega zlatega sponzorja podjetja Imagine. The medals will be awarded by the Mr. Sašo Bertoncer, member of Executive Committee of International Committee of Mediterranean Games, Julio Marcos Felipe, technical delegate from the FIG, and Tomaš Leskovar, the director of gold sponsor Imagine. Tretje mesto, third place, Tina Zelčić, Hrvaška.
A second World Cup medal of the season for 21-year-old Tina Zelčić from Zagreb in Croatia. This after last season was her first time on a World Cup podium. She now has 4 medals.
Anna Lashevska, Ukraine.
Ukraine's Anna Lashevska wins the silver medal. High degree of difficulty, managing to keep her position right up towards the top of the standings despite coming off the apparatus.
Veronica Mandriota, Italia.
On the execution tie-break, Veronica Mandriota of Italy wins her first World Cup honours. A gold medal is the reward for this 17-year-old who was the reserve for the last World Championships. Now she is in the spotlight and will have the national anthem played in her honour.
Posledná, ktorá je najúspešnejšia dekleta na gredi. My bomo v nadaljevanju spremljali finalne nastope moških.
The medalists in the beam competition in Koper. The women's floor competition. Top performer in qualification, the gymnast who will go last, Lena Bickel of Switzerland. And she is the reigning national champion on this apparatus. She got very close to a medal on beam. Now we see Leni Bola of Austria on floor. She was the 4th best in qualification with a score of 12.5, and she is the reigning national champion on floor. She won the title in April in Dornbirn, her home city. First performance in the women's floor final coming from Leni Bola, the 17-year-old from Dornbirn. She was at the World Championships in Antwerp last year, where floor was her strongest piece. 12.5 in qualification. She's got some nice tumbling work. Difficulty-wise, we will see routines that we anticipate being around half a mark or so higher than the difficulty that we've seen here. Double pike, not a big landing adjustment, good form. And she gets good height in the double tuck as well. That was nicely judged. Well, we've started with Leni, we'll finish with Lena. And the opening score is 12.75. Leni Bola of Austria, she's up by a quarter of a mark from qualification. Well done to her. Ariana Grillo from Italy. New to the full senior international scene. She was the 8th best in qualification with 12.1, but with 3 penalty tenths. It's a memorable routine. She's such a good young gymnast. 16-year-old Ariana Grillo. Regrettably, difficult time of things in the floor final. And was also the case in the balance beam final. Sitting down one of her tumbling passes here. The promise is there, that is absolutely clear. No issues with her pike work. She's just leaning backwards very heavily coming into that landing position. Was quite some way from making a clear landing. making that top position even tighter will be no doubt a long-term target. 11.35. Not the full difficulty that she was credited with in qualification, for clear reasons. To a gymnast who won the title on the beam, Mandriota. Third best in qualification with a score of 12.55, but she's got room to really increase her execution score. Strong performance. Mandriota of Italy, she really has had an impressive day. Some striking work choreographically, some of the tumbling very secure, some of it needing a little sharpening of form. But she's still a young gymnast, still a new member of the Italian team comparatively. Did well to steady that. She was very slightly off alignment. Good releve position in her pirouettes. Pike was secure, a little bent as she landed, but she hopped up so quickly into the choreography. Early on in the routine, some of the leg form in her twisting was not quite as exacting. But very memorable. 12.7 is the score. 2/10 lower in terms of difficulty than qualification, so she's just behind Leni Bola. To Kaylee Anders of South Africa, the gymnast who has twice been a continental champion, once with the team, that was last year. She also won the vault title a month ago. And she's also the reigning all-around national champion and won bronze on floor. very sophisticated performer on floor, isn't she? Kaylee Anders, just 16, from South Africa. Debutant at the World Championships last year in Antwerp. Her score in qualification was 12.3. Choreographically, a nice display. Definitely a gymnast who is on quite a sharp upwards trajectory. Kaylee Anders, 12.4. That puts her into the bronze medal position. 4 to go. So at the halfway stage, Leni Bola of Austria is leading. We've still got the top 2 qualifiers to come, Liao Yichun and Lena Bickel. But we must keep a close eye on Diana Lobok, who will be the 6th gymnast to go, because she's got the difficulty to win this if she can just make the execution tidier. We move to a very promising gymnast. We saw glimpses of her undeniable quality on beam. Hilda Maja Gudmundsdottir. 12.3 in qualification for the gymnast who won the silver medal at the Nordic Championship on floor in Oslo last month, where she also won the all-around vault and beam gold medals. We reiterate the narrative, a gymnast who's going in the right direction. It's so clear when you watch Hilda Maja Gudmundsdottir. It's a really interesting choice of music because it's one of the pieces that you hear so often at international and domestic gymnastics competitions. It's often actually used as the march around music, and it's quite lovely to stop and focus upon it and hear it as the central thing, not a side attraction as the gymnasts are moving from piece to piece. She's got some good tumbling work here, particularly right at the conclusion of the routine. Double tuck, came out of that with real finesse. .3 in qualification, the lowest difficulty score of any of the qualifiers. But some of the best execution that we saw. And as mentioned earlier, this is the first day in which she's made World Cup finals, and she's made both of them. And that's only going to enhance her experience and her competition readiness. What she's done is improve upon her qualification score by a 10th of difficulty and a 10th of execution for 12.5, and it puts her into the bronze medal position with 3 to go. Now to Diana Lobok of Ukraine, 12.45 in qualification, but with a 7.15 for execution, the lowest of all of the qualifiers. She could move right up the standings. Diana Lobok from Ukraine, score of 12.45 in the preliminary round, with a 5.3 difficulty and a 7.15 for execution. She's shown good score progression on beam and floor this season. Powerful double pike. Crossover of the legs in the twisting work will receive some deduction. Decent releve position. And then near the end, quite low coming out of the tuck position, bent over and with a big forward step. Execution 7.15 in the preliminary round, and she is with a score of 12.55 in the bronze medal position here. She's just pushed out Gudmundsdottir We now go to the second strongest performer in qualification, Liao Yichun of Chinese Taipei, the floor champion at the Invitational Pharaohs Cup last year in Egypt, and a gymnast who has been in the top 5 at the Asian Championships on floor. Qualification score for Liao Yichun, 12.65. Some of the landings were a little tentative on her tumbling passes, particularly early on in the routine. Others had much more control and stability. Let's have a look back. Little rebound coming out of the double pike landing. Again, she was quite bent at the midsection as she came into contact with the floor. Similarly there, something of a sidestep, but there's some good difficult work going on in terms of the tumbling and getting round quickly in those pirouettes with a nice high releve position. And she has gone into the bronze medal position, 12.65. So it means that the first gymnast, Leni Bola of Austria, will be on the podium in at least the silver medal position. Veronika Mandriota is second. Liao Yichun is third. We go to Lena Bickel of Switzerland, who was the top qualifier with 12.9. The 19-year-old is the reigning Swiss champion on floor and in the all-around competition. Well done to Lena Bickel. Nice display from the 19-year-old from St Gallen who qualified for the Olympic Games at her debut World Championships last year. Did have the exit from the floor coming out of the double layout, the only double layout I think that we've seen in this competition. Here it is, nice double layout too. Couldn't quite be sure. A little instability on the horizontal axis in her wolf turns. But a lot to enjoy about this performance from the young gymnast. Maybe just needs to bring the heels a little more together in the pike position to improve the execution score, but she's got it. She has won the title, Lena Bickel, 13.3. Huge congratulations to the Swiss gymnast. The top qualifier has won the gold medal.
Na drugem mestu Leni Vole in na tretjem nato Veronika Mandriota, Italia.
And there's some discussion going on at the moment. We'll just wait for full clarification. She is a very good skier and swimmer, Lena Bickel. Shame there's nowhere to go skiing in Switzerland, other than everywhere. Now, what a great result that is for her. She was the first reserve for the floor final at last year's European Championship, so it's been clear the pedigree that she has. I wonder if the topic for discussion is this, and the extent to which she is or isn't in bounds. The results in the women's floor competition: bronze to Veronika Mandriota of Italy, silver to Austria's Leni Bola, and the gold medal won by Lena Bickel of Switzerland. The victory ceremony for the women's floor competition at the World Challenge Cup in Koper, Slovenia.
Award ceremony, women's floor. Medalji priznanja bodo podelili Sašo Bertoncer, član izvršnega odbora mediteranskih iger, Joana Grad, tehnična delegatka Svetovne gimnastične federacije, ter Vesna Stare,
the heart of the presentation party, the three-time European Championship pommel horse medalist for Slovenia.
The medals will be awarded by the Mr. Sašo Bertoncer, member of Executive Committee of International Committee of Mediterranean Games.
He's also on the Mediterranean Games Executive Committee.
Delegate from FIG, and Ms. Vesna Stare, Chief of the Judges. Tretje mesto, third place, Veronika Mandriota, Italia.
Italy's Veronika Mandriota, the winner of the bronze medal. A very successful day for her. Also, the winner of the beam competition.
Drugo mesto, second place, Leni Bole, Austria.
Deni Buller of Austria making it onto a World Challenge Cup podium and securing the silver medal. Really good improvement from qualification from her.
First place, Lena Bickel, Schweizer.
Such a special moment for Lena Bickel of Switzerland. How lovely when a gymnast wins a warm-up competition right before their debut at the Olympic Games. Well, she can go to Paris full of confidence after this performance.
We'll
have the national anthem of Switzerland. Swiss psalm written by Alberic Schweissig in the middle of the 1800s. Played in honour of Lena Bickel, joined by her fellow medalists in the women's floor competition in Koper.